Senior Chief Ashley, the section commander for Zulu 189, will now read the names of the graduates and where they will be assigned. We ask that you please remain seated and be courteous of those seated behind you.
Seaman Apprentice Denzel Canty, Baltimore Yard Police Department, Baltimore, Maryland. Seaman Derek Bowder, Coast Guard Cutter Active, Port Angeles, Washington. His certificate is being presented by his father, Petty Officer Freedom Bowder, United States Coast Guard, retired. Seaman Apprentice Nathaniel Dvorak, Coast Guard Cutter Mobile Bay, Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin. Fireman Apprentice Rustin Umali, Coast Guard Cutter Cunninghunk, Port Angeles, Washington. His certificate is being presented by his uncle, Petty Officer Caesar Umali, United States Coast Guard. Seaman Apprentice Chad Yearwood, Coast Guard Station Point Allerton, Hull, Massachusetts. Fireman Apprentice Jordan Harlacher, Coast Guard Cutter Alert, Warrington, Oregon. Seaman Apprentice Alonzo Vega, Coast Guard Cutter Sawfish, Key West, Florida. Seaman Apprentice Ty Fender, Coast Guard Cutter Key Biscayne, Key West, Florida. Seaman Apprentice Thomas Meyer, Coast Guard Cutter Reliance, Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Fireman Apprentice Robert Evans, Coast Guard Cutter Sequoia, Santa Rita, Guam. Seaman Jacob Placido, Coast Guard Cutter Turn, San Francisco, California. Seaman Ryan Strait, Coast Guard Station Southwest Harbor, Maine. Seaman Edward Vladimir Dietrich, Coast Guard Cutter Thetis, Key West, Florida. Seaman Apprentice Christian Franco, Coast Guard Cutter Alert, Warrington, Oregon. Fireman Apprentice Paul Evasia, Coast Guard Cutter Washington, Guam. Seaman Jorge Torres, Sector San Juan, Puerto Rico. His certificate is being presented by his stepfather, Staff Sergeant David Columbia, United States Army. Seaman Apprentice Noah Ragone, Coast Guard Cutter Alert, Warrington, Oregon. Fireman Apprentice Michael Schweitzer, Coast Guard Cutter Decisive, Pascagoula, Mississippi. His certificate is being presented by his father, First Sergeant Andrew Rubin, United States Army. Seaman Apprentice Nakia Bacon, Coast Guard Recruiting Station, Greensboro, North Carolina. Her certificate is being presented by her uncle, First Sergeant Brian Dandridge, United States Army, retired. Seaman Brittany Willard, Coast Guard Cutter Polar Star, Seattle, Washington. Fireman Apprentice Robert Bogan, Coast Guard Station Portage, Dollar Bay, Michigan. Seaman Dara Nazario Torres, Coast Guard Recruiting Station, Aguadilla, Puerto Rico. Seaman Apprentice Karina Miles, Coast Guard Station, Houston, Texas. Fireman Apprentice Zachary Lawler, Coast Guard Cutter Blacktip, Oxnard, California. Seaman Apprentice John Toll, Coast Guard Station, Grand Haven, Michigan. Fireman Apprentice Jacob Ochia, Coast Guard Station, Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Seaman Yi Lamb, Coast Guard Sector Delaware Bay, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Seaman Apprentice Richard Romero, Coast Guard Cutter Seahawk, Panama City, Florida. Seaman Kalen Thomas, Coast Guard Recruiting Station, Washington, D.C. Fireman Apprentice Brandon Carrera, Coast Guard Station, Cape May, New Jersey. Seaman Apprentice Tanner Pika, Coast Guard Cutter Morro Bay, Cleveland, Ohio. Seaman Apprentice Brendan Fry, Coast Guard Station, Cape May. His certificate is being presented by his brother, Airman First Class Jeremy Fry, Air National Guard. Seaman Apprentice Daniela Leal, Coast Guard Cutter Shearwater, Portsmouth, Virginia. Her certificate is being presented by her father, Petty Officer Guadalupe Nieto Jr., United States Coast Guard. Fireman Apprentice Jonathan Zapata, Coast Guard Cutter Spar, Kodiak, Alaska. Fireman Apprentice Timothy Hunter, Coast Guard Cutter Buckthorn, Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. His certificate is being presented by his cousin, Lieutenant Joshua Rasdal, United States Navy. Seaman Apprentice Whitney Nicole Dumansky Cannon, Coast Guard Cutter Thetis, Key West, Florida. Seaman Nathaniel Bracero Estevez, Coast Guard Station, Little Creek, Norfolk, Virginia. Seaman Apprentice Jesse Fay, Coast Guard Station, Kauai, Hawaii. Seaman Apprentice Victor Lopez, Coast Guard Cutter Juniper, Newport, Rhode Island. Seaman Apprentice Wayne Frazier, Coast Guard Cutter Thetis, Key West, Florida. Fireman Jeffrey Boyd, Coast Guard Cutter Reliance, Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Seaman Apprentice Andrew Schwartzman, Coast Guard Cutter Henry Blake, Everett, Washington.
He's still smiling.
Seaman Apprentice Nigel Ellis, Coast Guard Station, Oak Island, North Carolina. Seaman Apprentice Nicholas Craig, Coast Guard Ace Navigation Team, Cape May, New Jersey. Seaman Apprentice Herbert Godfrey, Coast Guard Cutter Mackinac, Sheboygan, Michigan. Fireman Apprentice Davis Durden, Coast Guard Cutter Harriet Lane, Portsmouth, Virginia. Seaman Michael McBride, Coast Guard Cutter Decisive, Pascagoula, Mississippi. Seaman Apprentice Farron Payton, Operational Specialist, A School, Petaluma, California. Seaman Joseph Sprouse, Coast Guard Recruiting Station, Chicago, Illinois. Seaman Apprentice Vaughn Yarnall, Coast Guard Cutter Beluga, Norfolk, Virginia. His certificate is being presented by his brother, Petty Officer Brooks Hollingshead, United States Coast Guard. Fireman Apprentice Lazarius Job, Coast Guard Station Golden Gate, Sausalito, California. Seaman Apprentice Gabriel Prieto, Coast Guard Cutter Sherman, San Diego, California. Fireman Apprentice Alexandra Donald, Coast Guard Station Belle Isle, Detroit, Michigan. Seaman Zachary Doming, Coast Guard Cutter Blue Shark, Everett, Washington. Fireman Cameron Joseph Sweet, Coast Guard Cutter Bristol Bay, Detroit, Michigan. Seaman Apprentice Anthony Carpino, Coast Guard Cutter Thetis, Key West, Florida. Seaman Apprentice Paulo Alejandro Chang, Training Center, Cape May, New Jersey.
Wow.
Seaman Estil Peralta Jr., Coast Guard Recruiting Station, Manhattan, New York. Seaman Apprentice Mitchell Bacon, Coast Guard Cutter Anacapa, Petersburg, Alaska. Seaman Apprentice Fernando Enrique Pla Baco, Coast Guard Recruiting Station, San Juan, Puerto Rico. Seaman Apprentice Jordan McGee, Coast Guard Recruiting Station, Aguadilla, Puerto Rico. His certificate is being presented by his mentor, Petty Officer Carlos Rivera, United States Coast Guard. Fireman Christopher Berube, Coast Guard Cutter Spar, Kodiak, Alaska. His certificate is being presented by his father, Staff Sergeant Donald Berube, United States Air Force, retired. Seaman Apprentice Jennifer Izagari, Coast Guard Cutter Isaac Mayo, Key West, Florida. Seaman Amanda Haverkamp, Coast Guard Station Menemsha, Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts. Seaman Jennifer Nyman, Coast Guard Cutter Turn, San Francisco, California. Seaman Joseph Lopez, Coast Guard Cutter Vice, St. Petersburg, Florida. Seaman Apprentice Julia Gaskins, Coast Guard Station Noyo River, Fort Bragg, California. Her certificate is being presented by her mother, Captain Cheryl Ford, Air National Guard veteran. Seaman Celesta Brzezowski, Coast Guard Recruiting Station, San Antonio, Texas. Her certificate is being presented by her father, First Sergeant Andrew Brzezowski, United States Army, retired. Seaman Petya Clark, Coast Guard Cutter Chickateague, Virginia. Fireman Jeffrey Evans, Coast Guard Station Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina. Seaman Apprentice Matthew Huber, Coast Guard Cutter Farallon, San Juan, Puerto Rico. Seaman Apprentice Carl Mayer, Coast Guard Cutter Mackinac, Sheboygan, Michigan. His certificate is being presented by his father, Master Sergeant James Mayu, United States Air Force, brother, Airman First Class John Mayu, and sister, Second Lieutenant Rosalie Yazin, United States Air Force. Seaman Apprentice Gary Blake Hardigree, Coast Guard Cutter Henry Blake, Everett, Washington. Seaman Apprentice Cody Carson, Coast Guard Cutter Sherman, San Diego, California. Seaman Apprentice Spencer Regal, Coast Guard Cutter Harriet Lane, Portsmouth, Virginia. Seaman Apprentice Zachary Lowe, Coast Guard Cutter Pamlico, New Orleans, Louisiana. Seaman Apprentice Luciano Reynoso, Coast Guard Cutter Knight Islands, Key West, Florida. Seaman Apprentice Tyler Stiff, Coast Guard Station East Tawash, Michigan.
What's your name again? What's his name again? Like Sergeant Rod. Yeah, he's super chill.
Ladies and gentlemen, those are the graduates of Zulu 189. Graduates, this is your final muster at Zulu 189. When you are dismissed, your company will be disbanded forever. You'll become working members of the Coast Guard family assigned around the world. You have been trained and challenged by the best the service has to offer. Your training has taught you that the Coast Guard's 3 core values of honor, respect, and devotion to duty should guide your performance, conduct, and decisions every minute of every day. We wish you great success and hope your lives and careers are blessed with fair winds and following seas. Post the company guide on. Strike the company flag. Chief Petty Officer Hollenbeck, disband the graduating company.
And then look at me.
Thanks.
Come on, man.
I bet you want water. Hurry up. Okay, I took about 13.
Oh my gosh, I'll rip my suit again.
Take one of the hugging hug.
How my pen is going into my heart.
Because he has no water.
See that sword?
We'll see where you're going. Hugging. I don't know. I'll catch one time in crowd.
Can we get a picture?
Okay. Oh, that's so cute. Love it.
Congratulations.
I love it.
Okay. I have to go find